Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, Lexus showing off a mid-cycle refresh of the RC. Now, it's really tricky to see the differences in this particular machine over last year's model, but it does get brand new front-end treatment, helping out with front-end aero work, along with brand new front headlamps. 19-inch wheels on all four corners, and they've really tried to go to work on the suspension as well, with brand new dampers on all four corners and stiffer bushings all the way around as well. Fiddle around with the ECU unit to give it a little bit greater throttle response in every shape on the rev range. Also out back, it gets brand new rear end treatment with new aero work and new rear taillights as well. New aero work, new suspension work. This thing's going to be better than ever. Along with, we're anxiously awaiting news on the F version, the RCF, that'll hopefully be coming soon with all these revisions, really making it the car to really stick up with those killer good looks. Next up on the list, Ford showing off the Heritage Edition of the brand new GT. Now, you may remember a Heritage Edition of the last generation GT. In fact, there's a funny little story. Comes from the designer of that particular generation of the GT, which was anxiously waiting with bated breath for Gulf Oil to actually sign off on that livery being able to go on in this particular machine. But he didn't want to jinx the whole situation. But once they finally put pen to paper and Gulf signed off on allowing Ford to actually use that particular paint scheme, which is actually the rarest of all Ford GTs of that generation, is the Gulf Oil livery or the Heritage Edition. He actually, within 20 minutes, already had paint prepped and had already done the sketches on the particular vehicle as well, as he was uber excited. As far as the second go-round of the Heritage Edition, obviously it gets the Gulf Oil livery. It gets Gulf Oil orange brake calipers on all four corners and silver mirrors that are also exclusive only to this vehicle. No performance upgrades or anything like that are available on this particular machine. Now, here's the trick, too. It's actually going to get racing numbers, much like the cars from way back in the day. In fact, one, being the 2019 model, will get the number 9, which was the race-winning machine for the 1968 24 Hours of Le Mans. The 2020 edition of the Heritage Edition will get number 6, which was the winning number of the vehicle that won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1969. Both of them GT40s from back in the day. So we don't know pricing or availability as of yet, but definitely once we hear it, we'll let you know. And last up on the list, mid-cycle refresh for the Honda or Acura NSX as well. This particular machine gets a bunch of upgrades, and this also involving the suspension and the handling of this particular machine. It's always kind of had a little bit of an evil handling, especially at the limit. Now, what you get in this particular machine, they really helped out the rear end. Brand new hubs, brand new bushings in it as well, to kind of help this vehicle had somewhat of a rear steer situation under throttle in cornering. Brand new front anti-roll bar as well. The roll stiffness has been increased. 26% up front over last year's model and 19% on the rear over last year's model. It gets brand new Continental sticky rubber on all four corners, which did make them go in and make some software upgrades, not only of the steering, the braking, and the torque vectoring system to help in with the stickier rubber. There's also even more stickier rubber, as Pirelli P0s are an optional extra. Now, this vehicle does go up in price, $1,500 over last model. But the trick is, a lot of the optional equipment that was optional on last year's model is standard on this particular vehicle. In fact, close to $5,000 worth of optional equipment is now standard for just $1,500 more. That being said, this thing's still a well over $150,000 car, so squabbling over $3,000 is not that big of a deal. That being said, we haven't heard about availability as far as this vehicle reaching dealer showrooms as of yet, but we'll definitely keep you in tune of what we hear. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.